Thank you, Madam SAA. Good evening, fellow Gaborone Toastmasters, visiting Toastmasters and guests. Tonight, I welcome you to our meeting, which is themed One Step at a Time. This theme reminds us that every great journey begins with a single step, and progress is made by consistently moving forward, no matter how small each step may seem. At Toastmasters, we know that growth doesn't happen overnight. It's the result of showing up, speaking up, and learning from every opportunity. Each role you take, each speech you deliver, and each evaluation you receive is yet another step towards becoming a better communicator and a leader. So as we gather tonight, let's embrace the beauty of steady progress. Let's celebrate the courage to take that next step, no matter where we are in our journey. Thank you so much for being here, and let's have a fantastic meeting. As usual, we have our program director of the day, or our Motsamaisa Tiro, or master of ceremonies, as we have termed it here, our Toastmaster of the evening. Our Toastmaster of the evening is Tshepo Itsing Mahoe. When asked to introduce herself, Tshepo simply said that she is a civil engineer by profession, who holds an MSc in project management and is certified in Prince 2 and Project Management Professional or PMP methodologies. She joined Toastmasters in June 2024 and is currently on level 2 and continues to learn. Tonight, Tshepo will hold the fort being our director of ceremonies and will conduct the program thoroughly. I hand over to her. Tshepo Mahoe, please grace our stage. Thank you very much.
Thank you. Good evening, fellow Toastmasters and guests. Madam President, thank you for that wonderful introduction. As Toastmaster of the day, I'll be directing the proceedings of today's meeting. It is my responsibility to introduce role players and also today's speakers. After speeches have concluded, I'll ask for the timer's report, request ballots to be passed to the vote counter, introduce the general evaluator, ask the I and am counter and the grammarian to give their report. To start off the meeting, I'll call back Madam President Tumelo Mapalala to do the toast of the day. Thank you.
Thank you, Madam Toastmaster of the evening. There are many traditions here at Toastmasters, one of them being the toast. A toast is not literally toast as in bread, but as in other ceremonies, a toast. Therefore, grab your cup of anything you may have besides you, water, coffee, juice, and join me in tonight's toast. It goes as follows. Ladies and gentlemen, here's to the power of small steps. The courage to begin, the discipline to keep going, and the wisdom to trust the process. May we always remember that progress is made one step at a time, and each step brings us closer to our dreams. Cheers to our journeys, our growth, and to each other. Hear, hear. Back to you, Madam Toastmaster of the evening.
Thank you, Madam President. As I mentioned earlier on, I am not alone. I have role players who will be helping me to make sure that this meeting is a success. Up next, I'll call the timekeeper to introduce herself and let the meeting know what her role entails and what's the benefit of that role. Timekeeper, Matsiriso Tamaki, welcome.
Greetings, Madam Toastmaster of the day, fellow Toastmasters and guests. As timer, I will time the proceedings of today's meeting. I will also alert each speaker of the time they have left using the green, yellow, and red cards. For icebreaker speeches, which are supposed to be 4 to 6 minutes, at 4 minutes, I will raise the green card. At 5 minutes, I will raise the yellow card, and at 6 minutes, I will raise the red card. Other speeches are supposed to last 5 to 7 minutes. At 5 minutes, I will raise the green card. At 6 minutes, the yellow card, and at 7 minutes, the red card. For table topics, it's two minutes. At 1 minute, I will raise the green card. At 1 minute, 30 seconds, the yellow card, and at 2 minutes, I will raise the red card. For individual evaluations, 2 to 3 minutes. At 2 minutes, I will raise the green card. At 2 minutes, 30 seconds, the yellow card, and at 3 minutes, I will raise the red card. Thank you. Over to you, Toastmaster of the day.
Thank you, Matsidiso. Up next on our role players list is the grammarian, Bonolo Kwapa. Welcome, Bonolo.
Thank you, Madam Toastmaster. Good evening, fellow Toastmasters and our guests here present. My role today as the grammarian is to pay close attention to every speaker that will be speaking in this evening. I'll be listening carefully to the usage of the English language. I'll take note of any misuses of the English language and any outstanding words or codes or sayings or thoughts. And as the grammarian, it is also my duty to introduce the word of the day. And our word of the day is cedulous. Cedulous. And this means of a person or action showing dedication and diligence. Showing dedication and diligence. So this is how you could use this word in a sentence. You could say, she was surrounded by love and the most sedulous watching. So a sedulous person would say is someone who works hard and doesn't give up easily. That is our word of the day. So I would encourage each and every speaker to use the word of the day. And yes, at the end of at the end, I will also give my report on the grammatical usage, and I think that's it. Thank you, Madam Toastmaster. I'll take it back to you.
Thank you very much, Bonolo. At this time, I'll call upon the I and am counter, Halaletsa Mutusi. Please welcome to the virtual stage.
Our accountant is not yet on the call. She's not yet on the call. Maybe you can move on to the next role player.
Thank you, Leah. While we wait for the I and am counter, I'll now call on the hack master, Benjamin Mahodielo. I hope he's here. Okay, I can see him. Benjamin?
Yes, I'm here. My role today is to test our listening skills by asking questions from the speakers. So I'll be asking questions after this meeting. Thank you.
Thank you, Benjamin. Up next is the table topics master, Leah Musunga. Please welcome to the virtual stage and explain your role.
Thank you so much, Madam Toastmaster of the day. So as the table topics master, that I'll be chairing the impromptu session of the meeting. So this is an opportunity for all the people who haven't had a chance to speak in the meeting to participate. And I hope we'll have a lot of people participating, as this is a chance to also give a short little speech during our meeting today. Thank you, and back to you, Madam Toastmaster of the day.
Thank you. At this point, we'll get into the better speaking, where we have Toastmasters. We had an opportunity to prepare their speeches which they will be presenting today. Today we have 4 icebreaker speeches, starting off with Tapiwa Motshweni, who will be evaluated by Theo Malebe. At this point, I'll call the evaluator for Tapiwa Motshweni, Mr. Theo Malebe, to introduce the speech for Tapiwa Motshweni. Thank you, Theo.
Fellow Toastmasters and guests, today I am going to be evaluating the Tapiwa Motshweni. And the Tapiwa icebreaker speech is titled A Snapshot of Myself. And given this opportunity, I believe that Tapiwa Motshweni would sedulously apply her skills that she got previously, and I'll be waiting for her to, and at the end of her speech, I will help her with the feedback, positive. Thank you so much.
Thank you, Mr. Malebe. Ladies and gentlemen, please unmute your mic. A round of applause for Tapiwa Motshweni with a speech title, A Snapshot of Myself. Tapiwa Motshweni, A Snapshot for Myself.
Fellow Toastmasters and guests, a good evening. What do you wish to know about myself? Is it what is the meaning of my name? Where do I come from? Or the background of my education? My name is Tapiwa Motshweni. My name means given. So my name was a name from my parents, being grateful that I've been given a girl child. Growing up, I've discovered and embraced that abundant grace from God. Tapiwa is a Kalanga name, which means given. And Kalanga name are from Francistown, which is an area next to Zimbabwe. I am the firstborn child from my mother with 5 siblings, 3 sisters and 2 brothers. My education background, I did my primary up to high school in Francistown with my parents and my siblings in Gaborone to go for my tertiary education, where I did only 2 years in University of Bradford at University of Botswana, and then after 2 years, I was honored to get a sponsorship for overseas to study. Ladies and gentlemen, this is the snapshot of my life. I'm very inspired to impact in the Ministry of Health, medical engineer in the Ministry of Health, because it's soul searching. It's about serving and ensuring positive impact in people's life. I'm proactive and to show a positive impact. Ladies and gentlemen, you may wonder, what do I like to do? I like to go to church, I like listening to music, and I enjoy dancing. With that all said, coming to conclusion of who I am, the beautiful snapshot of my life. I am a mother of 3 old, lovely child, a sister, a daughter, and above all, a royal priesthood. And I am very excited to embark in this journey of Toastmaster, to improve my public speaking, to improve my communication, and to improve how I relate because in my work, in my attending meetings, I've been pushed through to account for my department in the absence of my supervisor, who coordinates the whole country's medical equipment maintenance and management in life. Thank you very much, ladies and gentlemen.
Wow. Thank you, Tapiwa. Thank you for that lovely speech. I will now call Lola Ntle to give us the objective of Boipelo Tube's speech. Lola Ntle.
Good evening, fellow Toastmasters and wonderful guests. I have the privilege of evaluating Boipelo Tube's icebreaker speech this evening. The purpose of the speech is to essentially introduce herself to the club and perhaps tell us why she decided to join Toastmasters. I look forward to hearing your speech and all the best.
Good evening, fellow Toastmasters and guests. Madam Toastmaster of the day, I don't know if maybe I jumped the gun there. You wanted to say a few words, but I took this as my cue. Couldn't hear you.
Please
You
go
were on.
ahead.
Oh, thank you very much. As already introduced by my evaluator, my name is Boipelo Tube, but most people just call me Bui, and I've gotten so used to it. I happen to think of myself as someone who can achieve anything that she sets her mind to. Because of that, I happen to sometimes refer to myself as Chuck Norris. Well, I think that's clear because Chuck Norris can do anything, right? I think we all grew up seeing the movies of him doing the impossible. And this is why I decided to title my icebreaker speech as episode 1. It is Chuck Norris episode 1. As already mentioned, I am Bui. I come from the beautiful village of Moshopa, where I went to school from primary right through to secondary school. I moved to the city when I started my tertiary education, where I did a degree in accounting and finance at the Botswana Accountancy College. The decision to study accounting was pretty easy. So I did accounting from junior school right up to senior school. And in one of my lessons, a former teacher of mine mentioned that a lot of high income earners are CEOs who happen to have some accounting knowledge. So I just wanted a piece of those 6 figures, and I found myself studying accounting. I don't regret it though. It's been an amazing journey. While studying for my degree, I then decided to enroll for ACCA. This is the Association of Certified Chartered Accountants, and decided to register for 3 exams. That was even before I graduated my degree. Why? One might ask. Well, Chuck Norris can do anything. However, I got bent really hard, managing to only pass one of the 3 exams that I had registered for. However, the failure did not discourage me. I went on to complete the whole course in just 1 year, 9 months, whilst it takes some people a whole decade to do so. Currently, I am pursuing an MBA with Sheffield Hallam, still through the Botswana Accountancy College. So yeah, moving on to my professional life, my career began at Standard Chartered Bank as a finance intern. So what I was doing was basically just rotating through the different functions of finance. So from financial reporting, management accounting, and risk and controls. However, I then decided to take a leap of faith and applied for a client coverage management role, which is relationship management. That was an area that was completely outside of my comfort zone as a numbers girl. But remember, Chuck Norris can do anything. I then mastered the role and found myself being recognized regionally for securing major corporate mandates. And I just genuinely loved helping clients to solve their problems, even though I did miss my numbers at some point. That led me to then switch roles to credit analysis, where I could blend my love for financials and client interactions. Today, I'm an investment analyst at Kori Capital, specializing in corporate credit because of my banking background rather. This is a perfect fit for me as I get to network and still be a cedulous number cruncher, all while helping businesses to thrive. Apart from work, my weekends are pretty structured. I start my mornings with boxing at the gym from 6 a.m. to 7 a.m. because of course, Chuck Norris boxes. And after that, it's work from 8:30 to 5:30. And then school assignments from 8 p.m. to 10 p.m. And now I am excited to reserve my Tuesday evening for Toastmasters. Weekends are even simpler than the weekdays. If I'm not out adulting at weddings and funerals, you'll find me at the gym on Saturday mornings and spending time with family and friends in the evenings. Sundays are reserved for church in the morning and a hearty home-cooked meal in the evenings as I recharge for the week ahead. Moving on to why I decided to join Toastmasters. I first heard about the club from a good friend of mine, Matshidiso Tamaki, who is the timekeeper for the day. So she challenged me to improve my public speaking. And as we all know by now, Chuck Norris wouldn't back down from a challenge. So here I am, hoping to improve my public speaking skills and hoping to learn and contribute to the club. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Boipelo, for that lovely speech. I guess by now you all know who Chuck Norris is. Moving on to share the objective of Lillian Andrews' speech, I now invite Boipelo Moalusi Omiet. Boipelo.
Thank you, Madam Toastmaster of the Day. Good evening, fellow Toastmasters, and good evening, guests. Today I have the privilege of evaluating Lillian Andrews, who is doing her project 1, the first speech, which is the icebreaker speech. The purpose of Lillian's speech is to introduce herself to the club and learn the basic structure of a public speech. Lillian, welcome and best wishes with your icebreaker speech. Thank you.
Thank you, Boipelo. Lillian Andrews with a speech titled Family and Background. Family and Background, Lillian Andrews.
Good evening, everyone. Hello, Toastmasters and visitors. Thank you so much for having me. As mentioned, I am Lillian Nompumelelo Andrews, and I'm 30 years young. I was born South African in a place called Krugersdorp, but I'm a Motswana by registration. My mother is Zulu, hence the name Nompumelelo, which means mother of success. And my father is a Motswana from Ramotswa village. I stayed in South Africa for 9 years and relocated to Botswana to stay with my aunt in an informal adoption arrangement of some sort at a place called Bopa in the Katling side of Botswana. And I pursued my primary and junior school in Boka village and proceeded to Muedin College for my BGCSE, where I performed exceptionally well and I attained an A in Setswana. So I'm highlighting this because after years of struggling and obtaining grade D and E in Setswana, I decided to give a sedulous approach to how I studied Setswana, and the effort paid off. And then I further proceeded to BUST, Botswana International University of Science and Technology, and I pursued geology. I'm now a professional geologist, and I work for a gas exploration company called Butala Energy. I come from a family of 5. I have 3 elder siblings who are currently residing in South Africa. The firstborn being female, 2 elder brothers, and 1 younger brother who's currently staying with my amazing parents in Odi village. And I'm grateful to have them both still alive. And thank you so much for the opportunity once again. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Lillian. Now to introduce Tshepo Thaba, I'd like to call back Madam President Tumelo Maphalala to share the objective of her speech. Madam President.
Sorry about that.
Okay.
Thank
okay.
you. Thank you, Madam Toastmaster of the evening. Tonight, I have the pleasure of evaluating Toastmaster Tshepo Thaba. Tshepo Thaba is pursuing the pathway effective coaching. She's on level 1, project 4, being evaluation and feedback. Tshepo previously gave a speech, which was the first speech, and tonight she gives a second speech to indeed show that she received feedback from her first speech and was able to incorporate it into the next speech. Without further ado, Madam Toastmaster, please introduce Tshepo Thaba's speech.
Thank you, Tumelo. Tshepo Thaba with a speech titled New Year, New Me. New Year, New Me. Tshepo Thaba.
5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Happy New Year. Vision boards, journaling, cutting people off. These are the common statements in this particular season that we are in. Madam Toastmaster of the day, fellow Toasties and guests, good evening and a very much welcome to the year 2025. We are 28 days into the new year. And how are your New Year's resolutions going? I'm going to give you 1 second to answer that question. Right. How are your New Year's resolutions? Don't be shy. I'll go first. After reading the book by Robin Sharma called The 5 a.m. Club, I decided, yippee, I am going to join the crew. I'm going to start my mornings super early. Well, guess how that's going? Embarrassing. A quote from the same book says, winning starts at your beginning. Own your mornings and elevate the quality of your day. Some say, simply make up your bed. Oh boy, I incorporated that one. Boy, am I not impressed. Who knew that incorporating such a small change into my morning routine will drastically set me on a good mood for my day? I have also decided then to incorporate the same concept of winning at your beginning into my year 2025 to give myself a head start of the year. They say how you begin your race is very important. Any athletes here, they can attest to that because it gives you the drive and the head start to that race. Allow me to share with you 4 simple tips to give yourself the head start for the year 2025. Number 1, simply review your past goals. Are they SMART, specific, measurable, achievable, relevant, and timely? Let go of any vague goals. Number 2, you might want to come closer to your screen for this one. Listen carefully. Declutter. Guys, declutter, declutter, declutter. I can't emphasize this one enough. We tend to have many goals that cluster our focus throughout the year, and we end up not achieving any of them. It's either you declutter your space or those toxic friendships that are just really not working. Number 3, you need to be accountable. Get an accountability partner, or you can be accountable to yourself by having your weekly reviews of your goals or monthly reviews to see if there are any improvements that you need to incorporate into your habits. Lastly, be intentional. In this year 2025, do not start anything that you do not intend on completing. I can never emphasize enough the importance of winning in this particular season that we are in, to give yourself the head start that we need for the year 2025. I hope this inspires you and myself to do better in the year 2025. Toastmaster of the day, thank you, and fellow Toasters.
Thank you, Tepo. Zoom Master, please launch the poll for the best effort speaker.
The poll has been launched.
Thank you.
So in case you're here for the first time, you'll see something pop up on your screen. Please cast your votes. We're right now at 50%. We normally stop once we reach at least 80%. We are at 64%. Still need a couple of people to vote. Yeah, speakers, you can also vote as well. You can also vote.
A few more minutes and then we close the poll.
Yes, about 20 more seconds and then the poll will close. So long as you're on the call, you can vote. All right, Madam Toastmaster of the Day, I am ending the poll.
Thank you, the master. We now continue to reports by different role players, starting off with the timekeeper, Matsidiso.
Thank you, Toastmaster of the Day. It's my pleasure to give the timekeeper's report. Our first speaker, Tapiwa, spoke for exactly 4 minutes. Ms. Buipelo spoke for 5 minutes, 30 seconds. And Lilian spoke for 2 minutes. Our last speaker, Tepo, spoke for 4 minutes, 34 seconds. Thank you. Over to you, Toastmaster of the Day.
Thank you, Matsidiso. I'll now call the table topics master, Leah Musunga.
All right. Okay. So this is the session where we will have impromptu questions that anyone is free to participate. This is your opportunity to practice your own public speaking skills. And normally you just have to speak between 1 to 2 minutes. So the minimum time is about 1 minute, maximum just 2 minutes. So I'll pause the question for you to then respond to. So I don't know if there's anyone who would like to get us started. Oh, there's a hand there. All right, Bunolo. All right, Bunolo, you can unmute yourself. I have a question for you. And okay. So my question for you is, who do you sometimes compare yourself to? Who do you sometimes compare yourself to? Bunala.
Thank you, Table Topics Master. Who do I normally compare myself to? All right, I would want to believe it'll be my big sis, my big sister, simply because I look up to her and sometimes I pause and look at where I am in life right now and where she was when she was my age, and just think and introspect as to what I could be doing or what I should have done or what I have done that she that she was not able to do at my age. So I want to believe she's one of the people right now that I would think I normally compare myself to. Not really in a negative way, I want to believe, but in a positive way to just gauge myself, how I'm doing compared to how she did when she was my age. So yeah, thank you, Table Topics Master.
Thank you so much, Bunolo, for that. And our guests visiting Toastmaster, it is just as easy as that. Do I have another volunteer who would like to answer a question? Otherwise, I'll start scrolling through the list and pick some people. Any volunteer who would like to answer an impromptu question? You can just raise your hand or unmute yourself. Okay, since I'm not seeing anyone raising their hand, I will go and pick. I see Khorata Nancy. Hello. Hi, Khorata. Don't worry, my questions are very simple. Okay, Khorata is not responding. Oh, there we go. Oh, okay. Theo has raised his hand. Okay, you can just. Oh, Theo has raised his hand. Okay. So Theo, this is my question for you. My question for you is, have you done anything lately worth remembering? Have you done anything lately worth remembering?
Okay, thank you, Toastmaster of the day. Have I done anything worth remembering? So recently, in the company that I work for, I was part of the organizing team for this event, and the event was themed Safety Summit. So where I work, safety is one of the things that we put forward, and it's one of the things that we consider in every workplace, in everything that involves work. We should put safety first. So I was part of this event, and this event, it was blurry at first. We didn't think it will be a success at first, but it was a success. We pulled up the late nights, and we worked on it. We made sure that we secured funding, involved different stakeholders. And I would like to say that this event that happened recently, the Safety Summit, is one of those that it is worth remembering, and which I believe added growth to myself and the company too. Thank you for the question. Over to you.
Thank you so much for that. Indeed, attending summits can be an interesting opportunity. I see, okay, there's a hand, Tsapo Taba. You can switch on your video, then I can give you your question. So my question for you is, which activity makes you lose track of time? Which activity makes you lose track of time?
Wow, that's a very great question, Madam Table Topic Master of the evening. I'm one person that enjoys so many activities, but you bet I will lose time when I'm having engaging conversations with either colleagues or my friends. I enjoy to be surrounded by people who have conversations that empower, inspire, and where we talk about our ambitions and empower each other. I am more of somebody who is trying to get out of their shell, because for the past years, I've been cocooned in my little space. But now I've realized that having conversations with people who inspire me to grow would definitely make me lose track of time, because I really enjoy talking to people about issues of empowerment, especially when it comes to talking about issues of realizing your potential and growing out of your shell. And definitely talking about retirement and financial planning. I will talk about retirement, financial planning, and all the financial mistakes that we make as human beings. Thank you, Madam Table Topics Master of the Day.
Thank you so much for that, Tsapo. Okay, I see there's a hand from Wipelo. you can unmute yourself. Okay. So my question for you is, would you break the law to save a loved one? Would you break the law to save a loved one?
Thank you, Madam Table Topics Master. That's an interesting question. And looking at my principles, the values that I believe in, I wouldn't ordinarily break a law to save a loved one. However, it depends on what the loved one would be going through. I would have to assess the situation at that particular moment and say, is this really life or death situation whereby I would have to really break that law to save a loved one? I have seen situations where people would go out of their way to help or to save their loved ones in the form of probably getting them opportunities that they do not deserve, just so that they get into the system and earn a living. However, to me, that is not something that I would do. I would only consider doing that if we are talking about a life-threatening situation. I wish everybody could view life in a way that we say there are values that we should always follow, no matter what, no matter the circumstances, unless the situation really calls for it. I thank you.
Thank you so much, Boipelo, for that. And I have my final question. I don't know if anyone, okay, oh, there's a hand there, Waruna. All right. Waruna, you can just switch on your video. Okay, there we go. Okay, so Waruna, this is my question for you. What gets you excited about life? What gets you excited about life?
Okay, good evening, everybody. I am Marona, as it has been said. What gets me excited about life? Honestly, it's having to improve myself every day, having to work on my weaknesses, my triggers, and just seeing myself better this year than the previous year. I have to look at my year and just make sure that something has to be done that I'll definitely know for sure that I'll be proud of. And yeah, that's basically it. I just love seeing myself win. Yeah.
All right. Thank you so much for that, Waruna. Yeah, seeing yourself win. And that is the end of our table topics session. As you can see, it's just a question that you are asked and you just have to speak on it, and you can speak on it from many different angles. So it just helps us to be able to work on our impromptu, because those are things that we do face on a regular basis. When someone asks you for opinion on something, then you're able to quickly be able to speak on that specific topic. So I hope next time more other people will want to participate in our impromptu session. With that being said, I'll now hand over back to you, Madam Toastmaster of the Day.
Thank you, Table Topics Master. Interesting topics indeed, and interesting responses from our fellow Toastmasters and guests. I will now call the Hackmaster, Re Benjamin Mahodielo.
Hello.
We can hear
Yes,
you.
we can hear you.
Okay, let's start the master part. What is the meaning of Tapua Motsoeneng's name?
Gift.
Gift.
Hello?
Gift.
Given.
Given.
What?
Given.
Giving. Yeah, it's giving.
Eh,
It's giving. Where did Tapua Motsoeneng grow most of her young life?
Francistown.
Yeah, Francistown.
Francistown.
How many years did Tapua spend at University of Botswana?
2 years.
2 years.
Yes, 2 years. And which university did she move to after University of
2
Botswana?
years.
Hello?
University of Bri something.
Stanford.
some-
Okay, where is Boipelo Tsube from?
Moshopa.
Moshopa.
Yes, Moshopa. Who is her favorite actor?
Chuck Norris.
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 Yes, Chuck Norris. Why is Chuck Norris her favorite actor?
You can do
He can do
anything.
He
anything.
can do anything.
He can do anything that he says on.
Mm.
Okay. Where was Lillian Andrews born?
South Africa.
Let's stop. Krugersdorp.
Yes, Krugersdorp.
Krugersdorp.
Yeah, it's Krugersdorp, not
Africa.
Lexdorp. Which gas exploration company does Lillian Andrews work for?
Sorry, something.
Botala Energy. Okay, from Tsepotaba, winning starts at
At the beginning.
At the beginning.
yes, at the
Beginning.
beginning, and then lastly from Tsepotaba, list 4 tips from her that she gave us 4 tips for your starting a new year.
Set a goal.
Review past goals.
Declutter.
Declutter.
Yes.
Make your bed.
Wake up at 5 a.m.
It's review your past
Intentional.
goals, declutter, be accountable, and be intentional. Thank you.
Oh, thank
Thank
you,
you.
Benjamin.
Right.
Are you done?
So I'm done. Thank you. I'm done.
Oh, okay, thank you. Thank you very much. Now moving along to evaluations. I'll call the general evaluator.
Sorry,
Boipelo. Sorry,
Madam Toastmaster. Let me just run the poll for table topics.
apologies.
I've launched the poll for the table topic speakers that we have today. So you can just vote for which topic you enjoyed. We're at 40%. 60%. Okay, this one is moving very fast. Okay, 71%. So once we reach 80%, the poll will close. So if you see something popping up on your screen, please vote for your favorite table topic response. I think we're just short of 1 or 2 votes to reach 80%. All right, so the poll is now closed. Over
Thank
to you.
you. The next section of the meeting for today is evaluations. This will be led by Buipelo Mwalusu Omiet, who's the general evaluator of the day. Buipelo.
Thank you, Madam Toastmaster of the day. At this juncture, I'll call upon my fellow evaluators to give evaluation reports for the colleagues who gave speeches today. I would start by calling Theo, who will be giving us a report for Tapia Swanen's speech. Theo, please come on the virtual stage.
Greetings, fellow Toastmasters and the guest once again. I was the one evaluating the PMO training of a speech titled A Snapshot to Myself. So in Tapia's speech, I noticed something that she excelled in or at. It was, the speech was well structured and the title linked well with the content. And we indeed saw and heard a snapshot of her story, of herself, I mean. Areas to improve on, the viewer's hand gesture. The viewer should avoid more hand gesture, the hand movements, as it somehow disturbed the audience. And I would like to challenge the viewer in her next speech to include pauses in her speech as she gives her speech. Pauses, make sure that it brings emphasis to your speech, and it also brings an attention to all the audience. The audience will really pay attention to what you're saying and sharing. Secondly, I would like the viewer to have vocal variety. Vocal variety, I mean, like if you change the tone of your voice in your speech. I believe that with all of this, that viewer, you're welcome, and we are looking forward to more speeches. Thank you, Tapia, for the speech, a snapshot of myself. Thank you, over to you.
Thank you so much, Theo, for that wonderful speech evaluation. I will now call upon Lola, who will evaluate, who was evaluating Buipelo Tsube to give Buipelo's evaluation report. Lola, please come on the virtual stage. Thank you.
Good evening, fellow Toastmasters and guests. Once again, I got to write up an evaluation for Buipelo this evening. First of all, I want to commend you for taking that first step on your Toastmasters journey. I strongly believe that first speech is always the most difficult to give. I know for myself, even that fifth speech can be difficult to give, but you accomplished yours very eloquently and confidently, I believe. I definitely think that you achieved the purpose of your speech of introducing yourself. I know that you and Chapnaris are like this. You're an investment analyst at Quarry Capital who loves networking and crunching numbers. You're hardworking and ambitious. You completed your ACCA in only 1 year and 9 months. Some of the things I strongly believe you excelled in were: one, your use of humor and the repetition of your likeness to Chuck Norris. I think that most of the audience could relate to that, and it made your speech memorable. Secondly, the structure of your speech was very cohesive. It had an introduction, a body, and a clear conclusion, which made it very easy to follow. Lastly, your ability to maintain eye contact for majority of your speech made your speech very engaging, and it kept me actively listening to your speech. Like any great speech, I believe there's always room for improvement. You may want to incorporate the use of a quote in future speeches. For example, any legendary Chuck Norris quote would reinforce the idea that he really can do anything. And quotes generally are thought-provoking. Overall, your speech was humorous, well-structured, and engaging. You may want to incorporate quotes whenever necessary or applicable in the future. And congratulations and a job well done. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Lola, for that detailed evaluation. So now I'm going to put on my hat as an evaluator and evaluate Lillian Andrews' speech, which was titled Family and Background. Lillian, congratulations on taking on your first speech at Toastmasters, which is always the most difficult speech to give. You have done very well, given that it was your first speech. You were visible as well as audible. I got to learn a lot about you through your speech, Lillian, that you are actually a Motswana. I learned that you have lived in South Africa, and then you came to Botswana. You did your primary school in Boka. We got to understand that you also pursued geology at Boost. You went on to even introduce your family. We now know that you come from a family of 5. We also got to learn from your speech that you appreciate your parents very much. You have shared your achievements. And then I would love to challenge you to stand up next time when you are giving your speech. When you give your speech while standing up, you command the audience, and people tend to see your entire body, your gestures. They will get to see you fully, and all other reactions that you do while you are standing up. You should also extend your speech next time. Your speech was supposed to be between 4 and 6 minutes, but it was delivered in 2 minutes. So challenge yourself to extend it a little bit more by probably incorporating humor in your speech, as well as engaging your audience while you are giving your speech. Other than that, I fully enjoyed your speech, Lillian, and I would like you to challenge yourself to move on to the next one. I would like to hear more and more of your speeches with the confidence that you projected today, and even better. Best wishes, and I thank you. I will now call upon our next evaluator, who Tumelo Lame was not there. Okay, I'll now call upon Tato, who was evaluating Tsepo Taba, to give her report.
Thank you, Madam General Evaluator. I was standing in for Tato tonight, but with that said, well done, Tsepo Taba, for that wonderful speech titled New Year, New Me. It had me thinking. Indeed, it was a fitting speech with the start of 2025. You previously delivered the speech, so my evaluation will be based on that evaluation, but we'll take the typical or true Toastmasters fashion of 3 things you did well, 2 things you may want to work on, and 1 way to challenge yourself. First of all, because it was such a fitting speech, it allowed for you to have vocal cues that you could use to show your differences in pace in your voice, as well as use your body language. However, I must commend you for your breath work. Your speech was clear and well understood. Lastly, you maintained eye contact with us, your audience, and it felt like we were having an intimate conversation, especially when you said, "Come closer for this one." I felt it. Two things you may want to work on, however, are the use of hand gestures. I saw you used your hands, as I said, with those many opportunities to do so, but it wasn't the same as when you were standing previously, which allowed you or allowed for us to view your upper body and appreciate these gestures more. It's much like what I'm doing right now. People cannot see what it is I'm doing right here. So that's one way you can improve. Give your speech standing up. And also there are other vocal variety tools such as pitch, tone, and volume. You said yippee. I was excited, but it's not the same impact as yippee, you get? As well as when you said declutter. You said declutter, declutter, declutter. It felt quite monotone as opposed to if you had said declutter, 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 where volume is concerned. One way to challenge yourself would be to add an element of storytelling. Storytelling allows for us to use all of those elements I spoke of, the body language, the vocal variety, as well as speech quotations. So-and-so said this, while so-and-so replied this, and it's a great opportunity to add color to your speeches. To summarize, the three things you did well was that you used your pace in voice. You spoke slow, sometimes fast. You were clear and easily understood. You also maintained eye contact with the audience. The two things you may want to work on are the use of intentional body language in hand gestures that can be fully appreciated when standing, preferably. And lastly, there are other vocal variety tools that you can incorporate, such as pitch, tone, and volume. One way to challenge yourself would be to add an element of storytelling. With that said, well done once again, Tshepo Thaba, as you near the end of your level 1. Congratulations. Back to you, Madam General Evaluator.
Awesome evaluation, Tumelo. That was a great evaluation. I will now call upon, sorry, Madam Toastmaster of the day, is it time now to call upon the other role players to give their reports?
Yes.
Okay,
Yes.
thank you so much. I will now call upon our timer to give the timer's report. Thank you.
Okay. Thank you, Madam General Evaluator. The table topics, which are supposed to take 2 minutes. Participant number 1 took 1 minute, 30 seconds. Participant number 2, Theo, 1 minute, 30 seconds. And Tshepo number 3 took 1 minute, 30 seconds. And participant Bui took 1 minute, 38 seconds. And Waruna, participant number 5, took 43 seconds. For the Hack Master session, it took 2 minutes, 50 seconds. The evaluator session, Theo evaluated in 2 minutes. Lola evaluated in 2 minutes, 30 seconds. Buipilo, 2 minutes, 30 seconds. And lastly, Tumelo evaluated in exactly 3 minutes. Thank you. Over to you, Madam General Evaluator.
Thank you for that wonderful report, our timer. I will now call upon the grammarian to give the grammarian report.
Thank you, Madam Toastmaster. Let me start off by saying, let me commend all of the speakers tonight for the sedulous work that you have done. I did notice that there was an effort in using the word of the day, which was sedulous. I will start off with the effort speeches or the prepared speeches. in giving my grammarian report. At the Piwa mo training, I took note of some of the words which I deem to be codes that you use properly. You use the word proactive. You could have said you decided to take action or you did something, but instead you said proactive. That is very well commendable. You also said you are a royal priesthood. So I really think that is something that should be commended. And then moving on to Boipelo Tube, I really love the analogy that you use throughout your speech, comparing yourself to Chuck Norris. It really kept us glued to your speech. And I really loved it when you said you took a leap of faith. That is a good use of the English language. You also used the word of the day at some point, so I really commend you for that. And the other line that I really liked is when you said you would go on Sundays, you'd go home to a hearty home-cooked meal. So that is that. And then to Lilian Andres, I loved it when you said you found yourself in an informal adoption. You could have said anything else, but that is, for me, that is a very good use of the English language there. You also used the word of the day at some point. That is commendable. And moving on to Tepo. Tepo, you did have a quote at some point. You said winning at the beginning. That was very good for me for you to have used a quote on your speech. And you also had words like incorporate drastically. So I took note of those words. I also noted some of the other speakers who used the word of the day. Theo Malidve, at some point, you also used the word of the day. That is so commendable. Who else? Let me see. All right, I'm trying to see if anybody else used the word of the day. Okay, and Tepo, the other quote that I felt was really amazing that you used was when you said you had been cocooned in your little space. So I really felt that was something to note out. And yeah, I think with that, Madam Toastmaster of the Day, I would like to take back. I would like to give you the platform. Thank you.
Thank you, our grammarian. I would like to give my general evaluation. Through you, Madam Toastmaster of the Day.
Yes, you may go ahead.
Okay, thank you. My general evaluation is as follows. I have noticed that our EXCO team is settlers with preparing for these meetings. The agenda is always shared on time. I happened to join the call at exactly 5:30 p.m. We had our SAA there welcoming all of us as we enter. We had engagement. So that is very good because we felt really welcome. I would like to commend you on that. We went through our Zoom etiquettes. We got to understand how we are expected to behave during the meeting, which was another positive. The agenda is always shared on time. It was shared on time even today. We always have impressive number of speakers. Today we had 4 speakers, which is commendable. That means that we are really making an effort to improve public speaking. Members who joined earlier were even encouraged to take on speaking roles in the next session, which is the whole essence of Toastmasters, is that we win together, so we continue encouraging each other. Role players, you did a wonderful, wonderful job. The Toastmaster of the day was awesome. I believe it was her first time to take this role, but you did very well. I'd like to commend you for that. Table topics session also went very well. We got to the questions that engaged us. Even our guests were able to participate in that session. The R&R counter also was awesome. Yes, and the president is always amazing. We got to hear the encouraging words from her as usual, and the toast of the day. Evaluators were also very good. Evaluations were positive, were building evaluations with also feedback to help us develop and grow. There were a few glitches here and there in the structure of the program, but I'm quite impressed with the way the glitches were managed. It didn't show that we had those glitches. So the management of the meeting was also perfect. With that said, we started our meeting on time exactly at 6 o'clock. The SAA called the meeting to order. I'm looking at the time now. We are at 20 past 7. And the meeting is still on. It's supposed to run until 8, I suppose. But at least it hasn't overrun. So well done. And let us continue improving. Let us continue building those listening and communication skills. Thank you. And back to you, Madam Toastmaster of the day.
Thank you so much for that. Unfortunately, our Toastmaster of the day had an emergency, so she is not here right now. But we're almost at the end of our program. Let me just launch the poll for best evaluator. I think, yeah, we had 4 evaluators today, so you can just vote there. Then we will continue with the rest, because I think it's just to share the results of our voting for today, and then Madam Tumelo will come to greet our guests. So right now we're sitting at 55%. Okay, 70%, just a few more minutes. Something should have appeared on your screen for you to vote. And okay, then I think, all right, so I'm now closing the poll. Okay. So we'll then now share the results for our voting for today. Let me just share the slides. So we normally always start with the best evaluator. And the best evaluator for the evening is, drumroll, is none other than Lola. Well done, Lola. Woo. Well done, Lola. And then I think we move to best table topic speaker. Buipilo, our GE. Well done, Buipilo. And then our best effort speaker of the night is none other than another Buipilo. Woo, woo, woo. Well done, Buipilo. Well done. And we'll definitely share these certificates on our WhatsApp group. At this point, I'll hand over to you, Madam President, to greet our guests.
Thank you so much, Leah. What a wonderful program. We had 3 icebreakers. Trust me, it's not easy to give your very first speech here at Toastmasters, but we are indeed grateful. We also had a lovely turnout. At some point, I noted over 34 people on the call. We're always blessed to have you visit our club. Before I close, perhaps maybe I can hear from one guest actually, or 2 to see how they found our meeting and if we can get any feedback to improve our session thus far. You heard that we love feedback here at Toastmasters. I saw a couple of people on the call. Could I ask Bakang Pierce, could you humor me with some feedback, please? How did you find our meeting?
All right, good evening. No, I think I think the session was great. I like the real-time feedback in the sense that you can immediately work on it after the session. So I think you'll be seeing a lot more of me in this club.
Thank you so much for visiting. We love it when you guys come back. You're welcome to come back anytime, as many times as you want. If you're interested in joining, Leah will share, if she hasn't already, a link to our guest WhatsApp group. You can promptly join that. And I'd like to make an announcement. Our next meeting is on the 11th of February, right here on Zoom. We'd like to see you again. So please fill in the guest book. You'll get all the updates. Follow us on social media, LinkedIn, Facebook. We also have a YouTube page. I was watching myself the other day. It never gets old. But please do follow us on social media. And with that said, I'd like to give my closing. But before I do, could you please switch on your camera so we take a group photo for our thumbnail? Please, 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 please.